and remain standing for the national anthem and invocation. Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, arriving. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, arriving. Parade the colors.
Colors. Up and up. Oh. March. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Color. Up. Left. Face. Very. Colors. Ready. Cut. Reset. Colors. Very. Colors. Ready. Cut. Order. Colors.
Color
Ready.
guard, post.
Ready. Cut. Right. Face. Oh. March.
Lieutenant Uvilla will now deliver the invocation.
Wow, Chief, we're all so grateful that you're out of that hospital and back with us. It's awesome sauce, right? So ADC Mogle, the metaphor I share frequently, the simple metaphor of the pebble tossed into the center of a pond, the rings of change making their way to the nearby shore. Quoting William Young's book, The Shack. If anything matters, then everything matters. Because you are important, everything you do is important. Every time you forgive, the universe changes. Every time you reach out and touch a heart or a life, the world changes. With every kindness and service, seen or unseen, my purposes are accomplished and nothing will ever be the same again. ADC Mogle, you have changed VAQ 134, CVWP, our Navy and our nation, and indeed even our world for good, as you have faithfully served our country for 24 years. For your service and sacrifice, Chief, we thank you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we acknowledge your gracious presence with us this morning. Today we celebrate with ADC Mogle and his wife Marilyn. We're grateful for their amazing sacrifices and accomplishments these past 24 years. We place this ceremony and their future into your hands. In the Heavenly Father's name, amen.
Will the guests please be seated? Side boys, post.
Standard. Thanks.
Feel free to uncover for the remainder of the ceremony. When we get to the point where your cover is required, I'll give you that direction. First, Brian, thank you very much for allowing me to be your master of ceremonies today. I love being a part of this. Thank you very much. Good morning. I'd like to welcome all of you to this special occasion marking the retirement of Chief Mogle. We're gathered this morning to witness the final stage of a very full and productive 24-year military career. We also gathered to say thank you to a good shipmate. Thanks for his many contributions, which in their own unique way have made our Navy stronger and more capable force in the never-ending fight for peace in this sometimes troubled world. Thank you for his dedicated hours of personal initiative that have helped make VAQ 134 and our Navy a proud and professional organization that it is today. Thanks for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of sailors are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Just as this is the end of one phase of his life, it is the beginning of another. So our gathering today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to the new challenges and rewards. I extend an especial warm welcome to Chief Mogle's wife, Marilyn. Thank you, Marilyn. All his friends and family that gather with us today, and his Garuda family. Thank you for being here today. I know that for you, Marilyn, I know that you are vividly aware of the sacrifices that your husband has made in the service to our country, and I speak for the entire command when I say how pleased I am that you're here to join us today. Bos'n's mate, stand by to pipe the side. This order has been passed on Navy ships from the 1500s through today. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, all navies of the world use the bosun side boys and call to bring aboard or send ashore all ship's company officers, visiting officers, dignitaries, and VIPs. Side boys would haul on the ropes and raise and lower the boarding platform so officers wouldn't have to climb the rat lines, which were hanging over the side of the ship and were used by the enlisted crew when going ashore or coming aboard. This honor was extended to visiting officers, dignitaries, and port officials. It was not uncommon for commanding officers of the ship to order up a jolly boat, a crew of 8 strongbacks, side boys and bosun, to send an old shipmate to his shore retirement home, never to sail a naval ship again. All hands on deck was passed. Speeches were made about great victories, battles fought upon open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange lands with ports of calls others only dreamed about. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce a very good, very old friend of mine. If you have a program, you can read about some of his successes in his naval career. As I said, he's been a dear friend of mine for a number of years. Our guest speaker for today, retired Command Master Chief Darin Hand.
Thanks, Eric. Okay, first of all, this is an exciting occasion. It's way too somber in here, so let's loosen up a little bit. You know, I almost want to get you to stand up and kind of shake it off, but I won't do that. Before I do get started, I do want to make mention. I don't know if they're out there. Dave, are the young men and women of the Navy Junior ROTC folks, have they already left? They're gone. I don't know about you, but on September 11th, to hear the national anthem and to see the young men and women of our local high school bring that flag up here, you can already hear in my voice. I know that they're not here, but let's give them a round of applause that they can hear over there at those parties. Hoo-yah, Garudas! Hoo-yah! Oh, come on now, Eric. We've gone way too far for that to be. That's not your squadron, is it?
Try it one more time.
Hoo-yah, Garudas! Hoo-yah! Hey, how are my old days over there at the flying club? You know, after I retired as the command master chief of the base, they stuck me over there for about 6 months until they decided that maybe you'd be better served going to college and teaching over there rather than trying to teach these guys how to fly these airplanes. So God bless them for doing that, and God bless you all for holding down the fort over there. I hope you're not there too much longer, but I know you got transition going on, you got some things you got to do, and then we'll get you back out to the fleet. I want to say especially a good morning to Marilyn. I'm so glad to see you here, and I know that you're probably very glad to be here considering where you were a week ago today. I also want to welcome, like Eric said, Brian's extended family, Marcia, Brian. I had the pleasure to meet Brian's mom and dad, Keith and Claudette, this morning. They're up from Ocean Shores. I love it when you hear dry humor. I asked Keith this morning, I said, how is the weather in Ocean Shores? And he said, spectacular, but okay. I knew right away that there's a guy that I could speak to later on. I also had the pleasure to meet Marilyn's mom and dad, Dale and Marion. They wanted to make sure that I mentioned that they've been missionaries for 50 years, and they have a wonderful story to share about Marilyn, and not to embarrass you, but it's right there by the door. I grabbed mine, and I'll read it later on, okay? What an honor to be here today on Brian's behalf. First of all, given like I spoke earlier that it's September 11th, it'll be easier for you to remember the date. I purposely chose April 1st. I know that, no, not because of April Fool's Day. We're the brothers and sisters of the mess. Okay, so you guys know why I chose that date, although my wife still insists that I played the part of, yes, the fool for leaving early. I also want to say that I'm humbled to be here to speak on Brian's behalf, because as I look around this room and I see some of the brothers and sisters that I have served with, I know that there are many here that could probably speak a lot more eloquently than I can. And I even know of one who could probably sing your praises and has been known to do that at cleaning stations. Is that what they call it on your? We call it cleaning stations. What is it?
It wasn't cleaning stations, it wasn't happy hour, it was just sweepers.
If that's all you did for sweepers, man, I would love to hear what you did for happy hour or general quarters. But anyway, Brian, I have to make some remarks here. I first met Brian when he reported to VAQ 129 in 2003 from the Lancers. And I can tell you that as his Command Master Chief, I knew then that it wouldn't be long before he was going to be joining the CPO Mess. As you're going to bear witness today by the accolades, by the presentations, not only did he join the CPO Mess, he kicked down the door and made a fantastic, phenomenal impression, and a long-lasting impression it is on all the messes that you have been a part of, Brian. So my hat's off to you, shipmate. You've just done fantastic work, and I knew you would. They say that you know when it's time to retire. I think that was true for me. I hope and think it's true for Brian. One day, the men and women that are wearing the cloth of our nations, including this older guy behind me, will know that day too. But I'm going to share with you how you know that day. How you know that day is upon you. And it's because most of the ships and duty stations you served on are decommissioned or sitting at the bottom of the ocean. You know, so if you look at Brian's shadow box here, and if you look at some of the places where he's been and some of the ships he's served on, it doesn't take you long to recognize, yeah, it's time to go, because some of these ships, the younger shipmates in this crowd probably had never heard of before. Constellation, wasn't that kind of a wooden ship? You know, I can just hear the remarks now. They're going back there through, looking through his bio going, the Constellation, really? I didn't know he was that old. As you can see, his first duty station, Adak, Alaska, first squadron, VA-95, the Green Lizards. These must have been the first signs, brother, when, you know, it started. And oh, by the way, if they ever say anything about a BRAC for NAS Whidbey Island again, then it's just time to, you know, punch. One thing I didn't realize, I was reading his bio, but Brian and I were both axemen. Of course, we were about 20 years apart being axemen, but when I first joined the Navy, I was a reservist as well, and the very first place that they sent me was right up here to Whidbey Island. Now, I'm a Seattle, Bellevue kind of guy, not the rich Bellevue, but the Bellevue that was all woods and trees back in the 70s and 80s. In fact, Bellevue Square was actually just a mall of squared shops, you know, and a river ran through it kind of deal. But I had to call home because I'm back in Millington, Tennessee, and they said BAQ 309 Whidbey Island, and I called Mom and said, Whidbey Island, where's that? and she said, well, we used to go up there, you know, camping a long time ago, I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know there was a base there. So there again, you know, we see that there's many strikes, and certainly you found out that it was time to go. But the other thing is it's customary to talk a little bit about the year that the retiree joined the Navy. Now you're going to love this part, right? Because it was 1989, and the first thing that I noticed about 1989, besides the fact that this was the year that the first Batman came out, right? The one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Now I still think Jack Nicholson plays a much better Joker, but you know, so then you start to think, well, holy cow, right? So that came out. The Toronto Blue Jays. Now, where are the Mariners fans out there? Not many, but bless your hearts. In 1995, the Mariners were 10 games back. Not the Mariners, rather, but the Toronto Blue Jays were 10 games back of the AL East and went on to go to the series. Any hope? No, I didn't think so. But, you know, I thought, well, that would be kind of cool. In July of that year, a United Airlines DC-10 crashed into Sioux City, Iowa, killing 112 people on board. And I was in Diego Garcia when that occurred. I remember watching the news on that. Mike Tyson KO'd Carl Williams in 1 minute and 33 seconds. Now, the older folks back in the day, remember paying like $90 to watch that fight? And then a minute 33 seconds later, it's okay, that's over. Now what? And it was also the Earthquake World Series, and that's where the A's and the Giants met. And yeah, Brian, that just means we're getting old, okay? So there's that. But, you know, enough of the past, let's talk about the future. How fitting it is that Brian retires during the month of September, where all chiefs, retired, active, and reserve, reflect on our upbringing and welcome the new chiefs into our ranks. How fitting that this proud Chief Petty Officer makes way for a new chief to assume the mantle of duties, responsibilities, and traditions. Their challenges, Brian, are not much different than the challenges we face. Yes, it's a different world. Yes, the enemy is different, but the challenges and the leadership skills needed to face those challenges aren't very different than they were 20 years ago. You can hold your head high knowing that you leave a stronger, fitter, and more powerful Navy than the one you and I joined, and you, my friend, were a part of that transformation. Here's the thing, Brian. You didn't back down from challenges in the Navy. I know you won't back down from the challenges that you meet as a retired Chief Petty Officer, and I want to tell you that I'm proud of you. I'm proud to call you shipmate. I'm proud to call you brother, and I'm proud to call you friend. Congratulations on your retirement today. Thank you.
Lieutenant Commander Elrod will now present ADC Mogle's Retirement Award. Chief Petty Officer Mogle, front and center. All military members, attention to award. The Department of the Navy, this is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Gold Star in lieu of 4th Award to Aviation Machinist Mate, Chief Petty Officer, Aviation Warfare, Brian D. Mogle, United States Navy. 4, professional achievement and superior performance of his duties while serving as Aircraft Division and Safety Chief Petty Officer with Electronic Attack Squadron 134 from August 2010 to September 2015. Displaying exemplary leadership, Chief Mogle supervised 40 aircraft division sailors and 14 safety petty officers in facilitating 10 command safety programs, enabling the safe execution of 214 combat missions with 100% sortie completion rate in support of Operation Enduring Freedom and Inherent Resolve. His efforts were critical to the success of a 9-month combat deployment, an extended sustainment period, and a historic Navy EA-6B sundown. His superior performance of his duties highlight the culmination of a 24 years of honorable and dedicated service. Chief Mogle's exceptional professionalism and selfless devotion to duty reflect great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Signed, C.C. Jason, Commanding Officer, Electronic Attack Squadron 134. Please be seated. Chief, you can uncover now. Go ahead. Yeah, we have a few more things to present there, brother. I'm sorry. From the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. Dear Chief Mogle, it is my distinct honor and privilege to congratulate you on the monumentous occasion of your retirement from the United States Navy. As a sailor and as a civilian, you have selflessly served with an uncommon devotion to our nation and our Navy. Please know that your accomplishments and sacrifices are enshrined in history, and you have done your part during your time to establish a legacy of excellence. You led sailors through superb personal example, tireless enthusiasm, and fierce dedication to our Navy. Shipmate, you made a lasting impression on the Navy and in the lives of our sailors, and there is no more profound responsibility than to lead our men and women who wear the Navy uniform. As you move to your next chapter in life and take on new challenges, remember the principles that made you a successful sailor. They will take you far in your future endeavors at home, in the workplace, and across the community. I encourage you to stay connected to our Navy. Your experience and perspectives are invaluable to all those sailors who will serve in years to come. Thank you for all you have done and all you will do. I salute you and your family on an honorable career defending the precious liberties of our country. Congratulations on a job truly well done. All the best, Mike Stevens. You can sit down now, Chief. By the way, Darin, I served on wooden ships, so I'm not that old. They actually made them all the way up into the 90s, you know? The Navy wife, like her civilian counterpart, must keep house, wash clothes, shop for groceries. Like any other wife, a Navy wife takes an active part in local community, civic activities of her community, such as church, scouting, PTA, etc. But that's about where the similarities end. The Navy wife is a rare and unique breed of woman. She has many qualities that other wives just don't have. She also has responsibilities and hardships heaped upon her that other wives couldn't cope with. It seems as if every time a ship or a squadron departs, suddenly triggers the gremlins into action that disrupts the normally well-running household. The household appliance or the family car decides to die, and it always seems to wait until the Navy man leaves for deployment to break down. Or suddenly the children develop a problem that just didn't exist when Dad was home. Yes, the Navy wife is unique in that she's a housewife, a mother, a father, a family manager, all in one. She also plays an important role important and needed role in her husband's career in the Navy, whether it's a short or a lifetime career. Her attitude towards understanding her husband's part in the Navy can be a liability or an asset. How does a Navy wife do it? Simply, she understands her role as a Navy wife, her inherent responsibility to other Navy wives, and that she is indeed part of the Navy. She feels the pride of belonging to the Navy team and recognizes that she too is a representative of the Navy and the United States, just as her husband is. There's no other woman in the world like a Navy wife. She is indeed unique. She is indeed rare. Navy wives, oh, we salute you. For without you, this great Navy and ours would not be what it is today. Commander Elrod will now present a special certificate to Marilyn. From the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy, this is to certify that Marilyn D. Mogle, having completed her tour of duty as a Navy wife, is as of this day no longer obligated to spend nights alone due to naval duties of her spouse. Be it known that she is to be held in the highest esteem as a true and devoted Navy wife. She is hereby transferred to the retired list with the rank of Navy wife, retired, on the 31st day of December 2015. Signed, C.C. Jason, Commanding Officer, Electronic Attack Squadron 134. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Petty Officer Mogle.
Wow, 24 years. A lot of people in the audience, thank you for coming. All my friends, family, mom and dad for driving from Ocean Shores. Other mom and dad and Phil, Brian and Marcia, you just made it in the nick of time. How was that border crossing? Kevin and Tracy, Ron, Zach, thanks. Dean the Ninja snuck in there. He's tall, but he can move and you'll never hear him. Next thing you know, you just sense this presence behind you, even on ship. He's there. And most likely he just saw what you did. Otto, thanks for coming. Jeremy, man, everybody, thank you. Really humbled that everybody can make it and you guys are here. It's awesome to see everybody. Thank you. Master Chief Schmidt, I could not think of anyone better to be my MC. Thank you. Darin Hand, awesome as a guest speaker and also as a friend, brother, and a mentor. You definitely kicked me in the right direction when I was at 129 and made sure I stayed in the right direction. Thank you for that. Well, I had a speech, but yeah, that ain't working out so well. Oh, well. So much for stuff written down. I can't say enough how much I've enjoyed my last 24 years. The last tour with the Garudas has been awesome. Getting to serve with all you Garudas that are sitting here today and those that are still at work, nothing but an incredible experience. And I know without a doubt, the Navy's in good hands. You guys have it and you're running with it and you're killing it. Just keep doing that. For all my friends, I'm not going far. I'm working at Chugash on the base. So I'll probably see you guys around if you have a light bulb burn out or something. I don't know if I'll be replacing it. I'm supposed to be a QAR of some sort, so I'll find out Monday when I start my new job.
I was going to say a scary thought.
I'm just going to remember not to put my finger in the socket, right?
Just look at first.
No, okay. Brothers for Side Boys, thank you for doing that. Whether you were volunteered or voluntold, still thank you. It's appreciated. For Dave, I know you sacrificed a lot to be my Bos'n for today, and I kind of mourned with you the loss of that awesome goatee that you grew. That was truly stellar, and I know you're going to be growing it out real quick here soon.
It's growing right now.
I think it's growing right now. That's all I have to say. I'm ready to go. I'm excited for the next chapter of my life, and to get to spend the nights and the days and the weekends and not have to go on deployment anymore and get to be with my wife. Looking forward to the next 20 years of being home. Thank you everybody for supporting me and being my friend, and I'm here for you too. If you need anything, just call. I'm there.
Light bulbs?
Turns out he didn't need the napkins after all. Chief Lind and Senior Chief Gooch will now present Chief Mogle with the shadow box on behalf of the VAQ 134 CPO Mess. Brian, that's kind of big and heavy. Is it a 3-man lift?
It was 2-man lift.
Okay.
Watch the intake.
Is it really less than 70 pounds? I don't know, man. Well, I believe Chief Lynn did the handiwork on the outside of that shadow box, correct? Certificate of Flag presentation to Brian Mogle. In tribute to American fighting men killed during the attack on Pearl Harbor, the national ensign flies continuously from a flagpole mounted to the battleship USS Arizona. During hours of darkness, this flag is illuminated. The battleship is resting in 38 feet of water. It is no longer commissioned. It was stricken from the active list in 1942. Special permission was granted by the Secretary of the Navy to fly a United States flag over the ship in memory of the brave men killed during the attack on the morning of December 7, 1941. The United States flag accompanying this certificate was raised and lowered on the Arizona Memorial on July 4, 2015 at 0920. Signed and authenticated the 22nd of July, 2015 by Rhonda Lowe, the acting superintendent of the World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, and J.V. Fuller, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Navy Region Navy Region Hawaii. Sorry, Northwest just rolls off my tongue. Flag detail, post.
Forward, march.
We appear to be having some technical difficulties over there. you mind starting that over, please? I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is held a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. For more than 200 years, I have fought in every battle of every war. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, and in the heat of the Persian Gulf, and scores of other places, long forgotten by all, but those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-torn, and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me. I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, and torn, and trampled on streets of countries that I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I've been soiled, burned, and torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country, and when it's done by those whom with I've served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surly bounds of Earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the new frontiers of space. I've bore silent witness to all of America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle, when I fly half-mast to honor my sailors and Marines, and when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear God, long may I wave. Flag detail, post.
Forward, march.
In the late 1700s, the United States Navy set sail with new ideas, new goals, and a desire to build traditions that would last through the test of time. The U.S. Navy led the way with providing honors for crew members. In the 1800s, saw enlisted men holding retirement ceremonies for their enlisted men for the first time. Captains would allow the jolly boat to take the enlisted retirees ashore. Then, after the Civil War, commanding officers began to hold enlisted retirement ceremonies to show the crew that he and the Navy recognized the contribution of its enlisted crewmen. Chief Mogle, front and center. Chief Petty Officers, active and retired, attention. The Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy. This is to certify that ADC, Aviation Warfare, Brian D. Mogle, was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserves of the United States Navy on the 31st day of December 2015 after 24 years of naval service. This certificate is awarded as a testament of faithful and honorable service. Signed, C.C. Jason, Commanding Officer, Electronic Attack Squadron 134. Retired Command Master Chief Hand will now read the Fleet Reserve CPO Creed.
You have this day experienced that which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship, regard, or obligation to the United States Navy and your fellow Chief Petty Officers. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the rolls, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you have earned as the Chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets. You should not view your retirement as an end of an era, but rather as orders to a new and challenging assignment, to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and will always be an accepted member of the most exclusive of all maritime fraternities, that of the United States Navy Chief Petty Officers. Active duty chiefs salute you. Chief Petty Officers, hand salute. Ready? 2. Retired chiefs welcome you, and we wish you the traditional fair winds and following seas.
Today, our Navy has given most of the pomp and circumstance, the honors, traditions, and ceremonies back to history. Time does not give us the freedom to do these things from the past, but we still have time to stop all engines, lay about smartly, drop anchor, to pay homage to one of our shipmates going ashore. To honor the years of service, the guidance, the leadership, the friendship, and their expertise that this shipmate has freely given for 24 years. By the way, thank you, Master. AC2 Anderson will now recite the watch.
For 24 years, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trades, this sailor stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this sailor stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war could be seen brewing on the horizons of history, this sailor stood the watch. Many times he would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there, needing his guidance, needing his help, needing his hand to hold during those difficult times, but still he stood the watch. He stood the watch for 24 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that a sailor stood the watch. Today we are here to say, shipmate, you stand relieved. Relieved by those you have trained, relieved by those you have guided, relieved by those you have led. Chief Mogle, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the remainder of the ceremony? Military guests, cover. Side boys. Belay my last. Please take your seats.
So as the last act as Chief Petty Officer on active duty, would NC1 Sutherland please step forward? And Petty Officer Osterman, please step forward. What I did was I gave each of them one of my anchors to pass on part of the tradition of my heritage and our fellow brothers and sisters' heritage in the mess. They have one, they have to go out and earn the other one. Thank you.
Brian, that was party foul, because now you got me choked up. All right. Sorry about that. Can we go? All right. Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the remainder of the ceremony? Military guests, cover. Side boys, post.
Side boys, center, ace.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Mogle will now report to Lieutenant Commander Elrod and request permission to go ashore for the last time.
Bos'n, fight Chief Mogle ashore.
Chief Mogle, United States Navy, retired, departing. Navy family, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. On behalf of Mr. Mogle and Marilyn, thank you very much for taking part in this time-honored tradition. There will be a reception held at Mr. Mogle's house from 1500 or 3 o'clock until 1800 or 6 p.m. At their address 741 Greenwich Loop, Oak Harbor. And if you need to know how to get there, come and ask me and I'll tell you where it is. Thank you very much.